بسم الله ما في I turned it on, I turned it off. Yeah, but I turned it off, I forgot. بسم الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه وسلم تسليما كثيرا أما بعد. So inshallah ta'ala we continue with the durus of إغاثة اللهفان من مصائد الشيطان. إغاثة اللهفان من مصائد الشيطان, supporting the distressed against the tricks of Satan. So last week, my dear brothers and my sisters, may Allah bless you all, we mentioned a beautiful hadith. This hadith is very important for all of us. This hadith, whoever's concern is the hereafter, Allah will put his wealth in his heart, and he put his matters together, and the world will come to him, will be dragged to him. And but the one whose concern is the world, Allah will make his poverty between his eyes and shut up his matters, and he will not get from the world except what has been decreed for him. So this hadith, my dear brothers and sisters, is a reminder for all of us, because how many of us, his main concern is the dunya? If he misses the prayer, he doesn't really care. But if you lose £5 or £10, subhanallah, you see he start losing his mind, even saying things which is kufri things, wal-iyadu billah. So if you get up in the morning and your concern is the dunya, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will put the poverty in between your eyes. Regardless how much money you have, you always think you're poor. You're always looking for more dunya. Your concern is dunya. Subhanallah. But if you get up in the morning and your main concern is the akhirah, if you miss Fajr prayer, you start panicking. Because why? You miss Fajr. Subhanallah, you feel unwell. Subhanallah, how many of us like this? Then we ask why we go through hardship. How many of us that if we do miss prayer, we start panicking? How many people when they lose money, they go crazy, they go majnoon, but they miss the prayers. If they do miss salat, it's like nothing to them. Allah salama wal afiyah. So Ibn al-Qayyim, may Allah have mercy upon him, said, the lover of the world cannot get rid from three things. The lover of the world cannot get rid of three things. The first one, constant worry. Constant worry, is always worried about the dunya. Secondly, permanent discomfort. Thirdly, always distressed. relentless distress. This is because he does not benefit from his love. Nevertheless, his soul will crave for unachievable abundance. As the Prophet ﷺ said, if a son of Adam has 2 valleys of money, he will strive for a third one. Another hadith, nothing will fulfill the belly of son of Adam except a turab, except dust. Except dust. And last week, alhamdulillah, on Friday, 2 young sisters came to our Dawah table. They were 14, mashallah. And they were seeking advice how to start practicing. One was a revert. And how to become strong upon the deen. Of course, it's a jihad. Jihad al-nafs. You know, many things will prevent you sometimes from being upon istiqamah. But all of us, we have to fight against our desires, against our egos, against our souls. Subhanallah, this is something which is very important. Very important. الإنسان لابد أن يجاهد نفسه في الابتعاد عن المحرمات وفعل الطاعات. So he has to strive against himself or herself in order to stay away from the muharramat, from disobedience, and to do the ta'at, obedience of Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. ألف لام ميم أحسب الناس أن يتركوا أن يقولوا آمنا وهم لا يفتنون ولقد فتنا الذين من قبلهم فلا يعلمن الله الذين صدقوا ولا يعلمن الكاذبين. Allah said, Alif Lam Mim. Do the people think they will say we believe and Allah will not test them? Verily Allah will test them like he did to those who came before them, in order for Allah to see who is a truthful and who is a liar, who is a truthful and who is a liar. This is sunnat Allah fi khalqihi. Allah will test us. Allah, sometimes the tests we receive, only Allah knows. Subhanallah. But discipline, controlling yourself. Controlling yourself. So, mahabbat al-dunya creates distress, depression. طيب, always feeling discomfort, always worried. Subhanallah. Hassan al-Basri rahimahullah ta'ala wrote a letter to Umar ibn Abdul Aziz. Al-Hassan al-Basri, wa ma adraka man Hassan al-Basri. Hassan al-Basri, one of the A'immat al-Salaf, one of the A'immat al-Tabi'een rahimahullah ta'ala. Read his biography. There is a book was written by Ibn al-Jawzi, Hassan al-Basri, أيامه وزهده. Hassan al-Basri, his days and his zuhd. Hassan al-Basri rahimahullah ta'ala, when the people wanted to rebel against al-Hajjaj ibn Yusuf al-Thaqafi, غفر الله لنا وله. بارك الله فيك. طيب, al-Hajjaj ibn Yusuf al-Thaqafi, he told them, don't rebel. If al-Hajjaj is a adab from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then the adab of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you cannot remove it with the sword. If the test, likewise, you cannot remove the test of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with your sword. tubu ila Allah, make tawbah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why, Hamukallah. That's why the fitan that's happening to us in this dunya is from the universal decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Is al-qadr al-kawni. Is al-qadr al-kawni, universal decree. And how do we deal with the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? We deal with Allah's decree based upon what? Sharia, the Quran, the Sunnah. نتعامل مع القدر الكوني بالقدر الشرعي. That's how we deal with Allah's decree. So we look at the Quran and the Sunnah, what Allah wants from us to deal with our situations. When Ibn Khattab radiyallahu anhu wa ardah, earthquake occurred in Medina, he told the people, make tawbah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because generally speaking, when something bad happened to us, it's because what? Because of our sins. So we do what? We make a tawbah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because well, insan is dalim. Insan naturally, he likes to oppress. That's why Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah ta'ala said, from human nature, you like to transgress. That's why in the Sharia to give you a guideline. صحيح, if someone slap you, you want to go kill him. But it's haram. Shari'at is haram. طيب. Islamically, it's haram to go kill person because he slapped you. طيب. But you like to so that's why it's a jihad, to make sure to deal with the masa'ib, with the calamities and the hardship, with the Quran and the Sunnah. فلا وربك لا يؤمنون حتى يحكموك فيما شجر بينهم. By your Lord, they will never believe until they make you, Muhammad alayhi salatu, a judge between them. طيب. So Hassan al-Basri rahimahullah ta'ala, to strengthen your iman, read and study the biographies of the Salaf al-Salih. And one of them is Hassan al-Basri, rahimahullah ta'ala, one of the great tabi'een. And Ibn Taymiyyah, rahimahullah ta'ala, said about Hassan al-Basri, كان كثير من العلماء يختلط عليه قول الحسن البصري بأقوال الأنبياء والرسل. Many people, many scholars, it was hard for them to differentiate between the speech of Hassan al-Basri and the speech of the prophets and messengers. Sometimes the speech came from Hassan al-Basri, they said the messenger said that, or the prophet so and so said that. But لكن يقول لك لا غرابة فإنه تربى في بيوت أزواج النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام. And this is something not strange about Hassan al-Basri, because he was raised up in the house of the wives of the Prophet عليه الصلاة والسلام. So he was born where? Hassan al-Basri? Huh? Where is that, my brother? Medina. Because many people, when they say Hassan al-Basri, they think he was born in Basra. No, he was from Medina. Then migrated to where? Who is he from? No, originally. Habashi. من الحبشة حسن بصري. He was from Abyssinia, Habasha. Yeah, he was from Al-Habasha, Hassan al-Basri. That's why when the people came to him, they said, well, we're going to listen to this is a non-Arab. Subhanallah. The fitna of Abdul Rahman ibn al-Ash'ath. They call it fitna al-Qurra. Big fitna happened. Abdul Rahman ibn al-Ash'ath. You know the fitna of Abdul ibn al-Ash'ath? Abdul Rahman ibn al-Ash'ath, he said, any leader that I see, I believe I should have the position on his instead of him. He had that ego and That's a kabbur. So he cannot be working like a soldier. He has to be the leader himself. So when Al-Hajjaj ibn Yusuf al-Thaqafi wanted to conquer a Sind, because the Sind at that time, they were kuffar, and they used to attack the Muslims' borders. So Al-Hajjaj ibn Yusuf al-Thaqafi, he got a big army for Abdul Rahman ibn al-Ash'ath, and he sent him to fight, to conquer Sind. And he sent a big army with him called Jaysh al-Tawawis. So Ibn al-Ash'ath, there was scholars with him from the Salaf too. One of them who? Do you know who was with him? Some of them. Sa'id ibn Jubayr. Sa'id ibn Jubayr rahimahullah ta'ala. Also the Muhammad ibn Sirin rahimahullah ta'ala. The Shahid, Hassan Basri was alive, but Hassan Basri accepted to rebel. So they went, and Abdurrahman al-Ash'ath wrote a letter to Al-Hajjaj ibn Yusuf al-Thaqafi, who was the governor of Al-Iraqain, Baghdad wa Kufa, on behalf of Abdul Malik ibn Marwan al-Umawi at that time. So he sent him to conquer Sind. So we mentioned he went, he conquered many places. Then he wrote a letter to Al-Hajjaj. He said, look, we cannot proceed, so we're gonna stop. I can't remember the place where they had to stop. And so we have to stop here, and then we carry on after. So Al-Hajjaj ibn al-Thaqafi, he was very rude. They said, you know, he had many good things, but he was very hasty in killing people. You know, he killed Sahaba, Abdullah ibn Umar, Abdullah ibn Zubayr ibn Awam. Anyway, so he wrote back a letter to Abdul Rahman ibn Ash'ath. He said, you khawaf, you're scared, stop making excuses. So Abdul Rahman ibn Ash'ath didn't like it. He didn't like how Al-Hajjaj ibn Yusuf al-Thaqafi responded to him. So Ibn al-Ash'ath, he got all the soldiers together, and he said, this person, Hajjaj, this Dalim oppressor, he doesn't want to give you a rest. He doesn't know what's going on here. He's not with us. So therefore, I'm going to rebel against him. I'm going to rebel against him. He's an oppressive leader or governor. So they gave bay'ah to him to remove Al-Hajjaj ibn Yusuf al-Thaqafi. Not Abdul Malik ibn Marwan. Al-Hajjaj ibn Yusuf al-Thaqafi. طيب. So they went back to Iraq, to Kufa. They wanna, did I say Baghdad and Kufa? No, Kufa or Basra that time. Yeah, it was not Baghdad. Baghdad was built after by Abu Ja'far al-Mansur, rahimahullah. So they went to fight who? To fight Hajjaj. Hajjaj has no big army, because all the army that they were with him, he sent them off with Ibn Ash'ath. Now they're coming back to fight him. So he wrote a letter to ask for help from the Khalifa, Abdul Malik ibn Marwan. One of the soldiers of Al-Hajjaj ibn Yusuf al-Thaqafi, he said to Al-Hajjaj, the best thing is to leave Basra or Kufa, leave it. He said, how? He said, leave it to them, let them take over Kufa. He said, I didn't bring you to give me this option. How you mean to? He said, leave them, because the people of Iraq that time, they were known, they love dunya more than akhirah. He said, if they get mixed up with their wives and their children, they will not come out with him to fight you outside the Kufa. And this is exactly what happened. So they came and took over al-Kufa. So Al-Hajjaj, Ibn Ash'ath said to them, now we have to go fight Hajjaj outside Kufa. He said, no, we never gave you bay'ah to fight him outside. We only gave bay'ah to fight him inside the Kufa. Now, we took over, khalas. So, big portion of the army of Al-Ash'ath, they want to come with him. Anyway, there was then Ibn Ash'ath rebelled, but he was killed. He got defeated in called the Ghazwa, or the battle of Dhatul Jamajim. Dhatul Jamajim. He was defeated, and many scholars who did rebel regretted it, and they said we wished to listen. They wished to listen to Hassan al-Basri, and those who rebelled against Ibn al-Ash'ath, Abdurrahman ibn al-Ash'ath, they believed he was a kafir. طيب. And so afterwards he forgave those who rebelled against him when he took over Kufa again. And to mention a story, is a funny story. So before he forgives them, he put a condition that you have to come to my palace and you have to admit you fell into kufr and you make a tawbah from it. So every person has to come to Hajjaj. He said, I accept that I did kufr and I make tawbah for rebelling against you. For rebelling what? Against you. So there was a big queue. One of the people in the queue, it was someone who was known to be a poet, sha'ir. He was a poet. And he was known to criticize Hajjaj. Hajjaj don't like him. He hates him. He used to always look for him to kill him. And now he has excuse. He's with the people that rebelled against him. So everyone's coming, yes, I accept that I made a kufr and I make tawbah from it and khalas. So Hajjaj, when he saw him, he said, this person, he will never admit that he fell into kufr. Because why Hajjaj saying this? Because he is looking for any excuse to kill him. You know? So the man, the shaykh, he said, me. He said, I am more kafir than Fir'aun. So because he got scared, so he said, I'm more kafir than Allah salama wal afiyah. So the Hajjaj started laughing and he let him go. You know, subhanallah. So the shaykh, barakallah feekum, look to the advice of Hassan al-Basri, rahimahullah ta'ala, this imam, about the issue of al-khuruj. And the reason I mentioned it also, the Khawarij don't deceive you. They said, look, Ibn al-Ash'ath rebelled. Some of the Salaf rebelled. No, the Salaf that rebelled against against the al-Hajjaj, they believed he was kafir. The other thing, Ibn al-Ash'ath, the ulama that were with him, they freed themselves from him after. Why? Because Ibn al-Ash'ath, he went to the Khilafah afterwards. Look, subhanallah. He didn't want to establish Sharia or something. He wanted dunya as well. Ibn al-Ash'ath, Abdurrahman ibn al-Ash'ath. So Hassan al-Basri, rahimahullah ta'ala, wrote a letter to Umar ibn Abdul Aziz. And Hassan al-Basri mentioned he was very, very eloquent. You know, he said, Muhammad Sirin, he said, once Hassan al-Basri gave me nice advice. He said, if you fear Allah, then Allah will make people fear you. طيب. No, the other one it was about نعم. If you try to please Allah, no, if you try to displease Allah, نعم, that's the one. If you try to displease Allah for the sake of pleasing people, Allah will be displeased with you, and will make a people displeased with you. And if you try to please Allah, even if you displease the people, then Allah will be pleased with you and make people pleased with you. Subhanallah. So الرضا بيد الله تبارك وتعالى. The رضا بيد الله سبحانه وتعالى. So he wrote a letter to Umar ibn Abdul Aziz. Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, one of the great Khulafa al-Rashidin. So Hassan al-Basri, rahimahullah ta'ala, wrote a letter to Umar ibn Abdul Aziz when he became Khalifa. Umar ibn Abdul Aziz was from the ulama of the Salaf likewise. And he likewise read his biography. Radiyallahu anhu wa ardah. When he became Khalifa, subhanAllah, and he ruled only for 2 years. And to show you the justice of Islam, during his life, or during his Khilafah, his leadership, there were a city that the Muslims took over, but they never gave them 3 days time. So they complained to Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, said, listen, the leader before you sent the army to us. They just came and took over. They never gave us even the options of the jizya or the other 3 options, yeah? So Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, he ordered all the Muslims that were in that city to leave. He said, all of you have to leave. Even the house, leave them, because it does not belong to you. So when the people of that city saw the just Islam, all of them became Muslims. All of them except Islam. Subhanallah. Look at the Dawah. Subhanallah. That's why when the people see the just Islam and see people watch us, like something I've noticed. People watch you. Don't think people don't watch you, especially when you wear qamis. The people, they want to see how you behave. Wallahi, subhanallah. So we have to, of course, all of us, we have our own struggles, but we have to strive to make ourselves better. Barakallahu feekum. So he said to Umar al-Aziz, the world is a place to move on and not to stay. The world is what? Is a place to move on, not to stay. We're not here to stay here forever. الدنيا دار ممر وليس دار مقر. الدنيا دار ممر وليس دار مقر. The dunya is a place for us to move on from it, not to stay in it. Adam was sent down to it as a punishment. Subhanallah. Adam was sent down to it as a punishment. Subhanallah, Allah Akbar. But also for this dunya is a blessing. So Adam alayhi salam, why Adam was sent down to earth? Why? Because he disobeyed what? He disobeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah forgave him. But why? This is a play of look what he said. He said Adam was sent down to it as a punishment. Be careful of it. Look, beautiful advice. Allahu Akbar. Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah ta'ala, he mentioned many benefits why Adam came out of Jannah. He said if Allah create us straight away and put us in Jannah, we will never appreciate Allah's blessings and the Jannah. So the qadr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we have to be in this dunya. If we do ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us from the people of Jannah al-Firdaus. If we do enter Jannah, you appreciate it more. Subhanallah. You appreciate it more. So he said Adam was sent down to it as a punishment. Be careful of it. Commander of the faithful, Amir al-Mu'mineen. The provision of it is to abandon it. And wealth here is poverty. Every moment there is someone killed by it. Every moment there is someone killed by it. Subhanallah. And of course, here doesn't mean that Hassan said stay faqir, be poor. No, but we should not make the dunya our main concern. It's good to have money, make money, to provide for your family, to help your brothers and sisters who are in need. It's good. But he's mentioning وَتَزَوَّدُوا فَإِنَّ خَيْرَ الزَّادِ التَّقْوَى. Take provision. What is the best provision? Piety and righteousness. So he said, every moment there is someone killed by it. It degrades people after upgrading them and makes poor those who heard. It's like the poison. It degrades people after upgrading them. Degrade people after upgrading them. Nah, dunya subhanallah. How many people subhanallah look to those who are, there was a person subhanallah, he had everything. He went bankrupt. Nothing. He had a dunya, then what happened? After he became majnoon, this guy. He committed suicide. Allah salama wal afiyah. So, even there is a narration about a man that he saw a woman from behind, and he was so attracted to the woman, and he was following her. Then she went inside the basement to the hall, and he went to grab her, and she turned, and she was a very, very old woman, ugly wal-'iyadu billah. And she said, this is the dunya that you're looking for. He said, I am the dunya that you're following. Subhanallah. Naam, sahih, dunya, you get attracted by the dunya from outside. But when you understand the reality of dunya, why the Prophet left the dunya? Their main concern was not the dunya, because they understood the reality of the dunya. And why it's called dunya? Because the word dunya came from something dani, something very lowly. Subhanallah. So Allah al-Musta'an. He said, it's like the poison which a man eats without knowing and suffers from it, from death. So it's like, subhanAllah, it's like a poison. Someone that eats without knowing and suffers from death. So it will kill it. Dunya too much will what? Kill your heart. The dunya too much will kill your heart. You know, subhanAllah, that's why, of course, we take our portions, participate in the dunya, but don't make the dunya, don't include myself. We should not make the dunya our main concern. You know, subhanAllah, because we're going to live this life. We're going to die and return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the great people, after upgrading them, we mentioned that, is like the poison which a man eats without knowing and suffers from death. Be in it like the one who treats his wounds and resorts to protection against what he dislikes. He endures the bitterness of the medicine to avoid long suffering. He avoids the bitterness of he endures the bitterness of the medicine to avoid long suffering. And sahih, subhanallah. Now, many things you desire, many things we want, many things we are wishing for, or your soul, nafs al-ammara bisu', and you have to fight it. You have to control it. You have to overpower your egos. Subhanallah. So of course it's hard, but the outcome of it is Jannat al-Firdaus. Be aware of this deceiving, tricky, and treacherous home, which is full of deception and has afflicted people by its illusion. Subhanallah, the advice given to whom? To Umar ibn Abdul Aziz. Who's Umar ibn Abdul Aziz? They said the real Zahid of the Sahaba and from the Tabi'in, it was Umar ibn Abdul Aziz. Why? The dunya came to him and he rejected it. He became Khalifa. His wife, she said, our life became harder after he became Khalifa than before. Our life became harder. Raja ibn Haywa entered upon him. He said, Ya Amir al-Mu'minin, what happened to you? You look different than before. Skinny, his eyes inside, you know, just, he's like his marid. He said, how can I feel rest when I am in charge of the Muslimin? Subhanallah. Umar Abdul Aziz, rahimahullah ta'ala. So Umar Abdul Aziz, he's Hassan was advising him. He said, be aware of this deceiving, tricky, and treacherous home, which is full of deception, and has afflicted people by its illusion. Subhanallah, how many people that we know died upon haram? I want to do this, I want to do that. Their concern is dunya, dunya, dunya. Subhanallah. How many people? You know, just as Ibn Qayyim said, he said that this dunya is very strange. Everyone knows that this dunya is not everlasting, but everyone chases it. You know, come forward, please, barakallah fikum. Come forward. It deceives by its hopes. When ask people, someone, "Akhi, start praying." No, akhi, I need to do this first. I need to do that. Look how dunya deceiving him, eh? I need to, before I start praying, like one of these, from our neighborhood, our area, he's a non-Muslim. I've been trying to give him da'wah. He said, I have certain things to resolve, then I'll become Muslim. How do you know you're not going to die before that? Subhanallah. How do you know you're not going to die before that? So we have to, my dear brothers and sisters, strive against our souls, against our egos. You know, subhanallah. Like today, I was listening to one of the people from Khalij, Saudi or Kuwait, and he was narrating a story about his friend. He said, once my friend was driving with his cousins, and so they had a problem with another guy. Why are you looking at me? And subhanAllah happened to me today as well. It's why you're looking at. You know, it's like something expired. This person took me back to 2003 and 4. Wallahi, Wallahi, why are you looking at? I was thinking, oh, Rabbi al-Aziz, what are you looking at? Does it still exist? What are you looking at? I was like, anyway, subhanallah. So this person, the same thing happened. Why are you looking at? Why are you looking? And the ego and it's a couple like, I don't care, so what? So anyway, this person, he said, he followed the other person's car, he took the knife out and he just stabbed him in the heart. Then he went back, jumped onto the car and he drove off with his cousins. So his cousins, they were like, what's going on? This man has blood in him. Anyway, when he dropped off his kids, then he went to his house. Hour later, reality hit him. Reality hit him is what? You just killed a person. And it's a major sin to kill someone. A major. La'nat Allah. Allah's curse. And the believers and the angels upon the person who kills a Muslim. Like he was a Muslim. Then the reality hit him. And he said, I felt like I've been killed and come back to life more than 10 times. This person who I killed him once. But me, he said about himself, the way he was feeling. And so he said, I'm looking out of my window. I see people coming out of the masjid, happy, smiling. And he doesn't know what is his future. And I can relate to him in a way. Because as you know, I went prison. When I went prison, subhanAllah, same thing. In prison, you see people committing murder, acting like a bad man in the street. In prison, everyone regrets it. Everyone's like, I wish I never done the murder. I wish I was, if I come out, I would try my best to stay away from it. I witnessed it. And I heard it and I saw it with my own eyes and I heard it with my own ears. So, go back to this man. He said, then I drove off to the airport. And I see people coming out of the airport happy, smiling. And with their children. And he's thinking about himself. He said, my future, I don't know, it's dark now. Then he went and he went to the police station and he gave up himself. And so he doesn't know if because they have to kill you or they have to do something to him. The shahid, the moral of the story, he said, even in my country they're saying, he said, Bet Mahanni, maybe you know it as well. He said like, anyway, you leave something, even that hour of anger, if you leave it, then the whole night you will sleep in peace. Better than doing something in that moment with anger and you will regret your whole life. Subhanallah. It's true. That's why Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, what? Don't get angry. Don't get angry. Don't get angry. Because when you are ghadban, you're in a time of anger, you can do something. And it happened to me. I went for ABH. The person, he was 3 days in the hospital. And we were scared, me and my colleague, my friend. we were scared that he was going to die. We were scared because if he's going to die, khalas, all your life is going to be prison. And I remember one of the people that was me in prison, he got 49 years. He was 19, 49 years. On the way back to the prison, he became mentally disturbed. We came together, we went to the court together, talking normal. That day was the day of him to get sentenced. On the way back, the way he was behaving, he went majnoon. He lost it. 49 years. Subhanallah. So sometimes it's better off to leave something. Like today, what happened to me? I'm walking with one of the brothers. This young brother looking at me. And he's thinking, maybe he's one of the guys. Why he's looking like this? Then he's like, why are you looking at? I'm thinking, why are you looking at now? So I'm trying to speak to him. Of course, I got angry as well. I'm not going to lie. The brothers were getting angry. Then I thought, you know what? Doesn't look good. We were in qamis. You know, it just looks mess. So I said, you know what? Let me try to diffuse the situation. I took him aside. I explained to him why I was looking at him. Then he was like, I don't care. I said, bro, calm down, man. Just calm down. So I spoke to him. I said, you Muslim, salam alaikum, alaikum salam, what's your name? I said, take care, khalas, bye-bye. That, back when I was 18, 16, or 16, 17, 18, bro, I don't know if I'm going to do that. You understand? I think, you know what, it's about fighting. Because why? It's about my ego. But now, when I walked away with a brother and I was explaining to him, I said, hey, look, we're practicing. I know shaitan's going to come to you later on. If you can, maybe you think you're scared. Maybe you think of this. Forget all of this. Think about your family. Now, if you try to harm you, then protect yourself. But if you have any chance to diffuse the situation, do it. Because you have a family. Sometimes it's not worthy. That you're going to do something to someone, then you end up somewhere else. Wallahi. Sometimes you have to think about your family, your future. You understand? And subhanallah, I remember after when I was attacked, the cowardly attack, after the first 2 days after the attack, you know, I was very angry, subhanallah. So even I went to the park and I recorded myself and I put it online to show people I'm not scared. So some brothers contacted me and said, what are you doing? What message you are sending to the youth? You are the same person, sometimes you're advising the youth to stay away from the road. So when you're doing this, what message you are giving them? And literally, it hit me. I said, Sahih. Now if I have to start acting like a roadman, acting like I'm going to have to do something, so what message I'm giving to the people when they come to me and say, I want to come off the road, I want to start practicing, but I feel I need to fight someone, I need to take revenge. My advice, are you going to tell them? No, they say, okay, what about you? You were doing it. So he said, be the bigger person. Be the wiser person. Be the smart person. Sahih. One of the Ali ibn Abi Talib, someone said to him, are you majnoon? He said to Ali ibn Abi Talib. He said, no, I'm not majnoon. And he walked away from him. Subhanallah. Ali ibn Abi Talib is a warrior. So when he walked away, even the MMA fighters, you know, the boxers, they advise them, don't fight in the street because they're very dangerous. They advise them. That's why if you notice, a lot of people that do MMA or kickboxing, when they get into fights or argument, they always try to diffuse it. Because they know the damage they can do to someone. They always try, look, you know, that's it. Stop. Even as one of them, the guy tried to punch him and he would try to diffuse it. Because then he kicked him, the person was knocked out. Subhanallah. So sometimes you think, okay, this it's about deen. And Allah will aid you. Maybe you feel later on, you think, no, shaitan is playing with your mind, but Allah will aid you. Like, subhanallah, how many situations people got involved? Some people got killed. Or they kill someone, and then when they go, they say, I wish I just walked away from him. I wish I never did this. Because at the time of anger, you don't think straight. Especially practicing. That's the advice we should give to the people. Try to be wise. Try to be smart. Of course, someone try to attack you physically now. Then you protect yourself. Barakallah fiikum. But, subhanallah, jihad al-nafs is very, very hard. Mujahadat al-nafs. So look, Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah ta'ala, he was rushed by a group of people. And what he did, he said, look, may Allah guide them and may Allah forgive them. And the people came to him and said, look here, Sheikh, we have to go and look for them and we'll do something to them. And he's like, no. Ibn Taymiyyah, one of the Sufis, beat Ibn Taymiyyah in the streets. He hurt him. Ibn Taymiyyah, then the Sufi guy, the leader was looking for him to put him in prison. The Sufi guy, he had nowhere to hide except where? In Ibn Taymiyyah's house. Yeah, he came to his house to hide. Subhanallah, but you have to have the iman and the, Ibn Taymiyyah was a warrior, by the way. Ibn Taymiyyah fought against the Tatar. And they say he was in the front line fighting. Not behind, he was in the front line. But for the sake of da'wah, he was patient. Wallahi, sometimes some people, you think I'm going to harm this person. Now if I go to prison because of him, I have a family, I have parents, I have kids. Is it worth it to just walk away? I know it's hard, no doubt, especially for the youth, if you're 18, 19, but it's better off. Because you are the bigger person. Shaitan's going to say, no, but you are the bigger person walking away. Except the person try, because some people just shout, scream, anything. Like this brother, may Allah guide him, who was a Muslim. He was shouting, screaming, and thinking, Allah al-Musta'an. This person took me back to 2003, 2004. Then the other brother wanted to do something to him. The brother was with me. And I thought, no, I have to stop him, man. I said, brother, take care of yourself, man. Wallahi, take care of yourself. Just, wallahi, alhamdulillah, we're not going to say we are Superman, but people know what they can do to people. Wallahi, sometimes, so be the bigger person. Try, if you're able to diffuse, especially because of dunya. It's not even deen. So I asked him, I said, do you know me? He said, no, I don't know you. I said, okay, no, I can, because I thought he knows me, maybe there's something else. But he said, no, I don't know you. I said, okay, no problem. So I explained to him, I said, okay, take care of yourself, khalas. Subhanallah. And this is the advice you wanna, or a message you wanna send out to the youth. Because if you're a preacher and giving da'wah, and you're on the streets, acting like a roadman, behaving like a roadman, then what message we're giving to the shabab? What message we're giving to the youth? They say, oh, he's a da'i, he's a preacher, look how he's behaving. How this guy wants us to follow as to be our role model when he's behaving just like us? Like I said, it's hard, no doubt, but especially because of what? Because of dunya. Why are you looking at? Why are you looking at? Allah al-Musta'an. Anyway, alhamdulillah, but jihad al-nafs, my dear brothers and sisters, يتطلب العزيمة والقوة, requires motivation and power. تفضل أخي.
Just like you mentioned, Ibn Taymiyyah, he used to be mujahid.
بسم الله.
Like these, for example, the followers of and they slander people. Salafi, they say that, the agents of leaders and say they do not know that Sheikh Rabi', Hafidahullah, he was actually mujahid.
Yeah, صحيح, بارك الله فيك. صحيح. الشيخ ربيع حمده تعالى was a mujahid في سبيل الله. صحيح. Yeah, against the Soviet Union, yes. صحيح. الشيخ ربيع and he's still mujahid. Refuted people of bid'ah and misguidance. حفظه الله تعالى. Subhanallah. And you need, I told you there's a brother told me, how you sleep when people mock you online? I said, I don't watch it firstly. That's how I sleep. I don't watch it. Also, let them, when you know yourself, then you don't have nothing to prove. You don't have to prove to people who you are. Let them mock. Let them do whatever they want to do. طيب? If someone tries to attack you physically, try to defend yourself. Okay? And if someone tries to attack your family, defend yourself, no doubt. But always try your best to avoid fights and troubles and so on. طيب? Try your best to avoid troubles. Barakallah fikum. But that's why Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah ta'ala, the Sheikh Rabi', when the people came to Sheikh Rabi', said, look how many people mock Sheikh Rabi', slander him. They haven't harmed him. As long as you're sincere, mukhlis, doing it for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and piety, and righteousness, Allah will aid you. Allah will aid you. The way Allah will aid you is ajib. It's ajib. Wallahi. Inna rabbaka labil mirsad. So this advice is a long advice. We continue next week, inshallah ta'ala, but let's go through it again. Advice of Hassan al-Basri to Umar Abdul Aziz. He said, the world is the place to move or not to stay. Allahu Akbar. The world is the place to move or not to stay. And sorry, I didn't finish about the story of the two sisters who came to our da'wah table. I said, go visit the graveyard. Naam, some scholars says haram for the woman, but it's halal. Shaykh Albani says halal, okay, but not all the times. And even us, when the last time you were with a graveyard? The problem is, back home, easy to go to the graveyard. It's like, let's go visit the graveyard. SubhanAllah. Here, we're too busy with dunya. تفضل يوسف.
Allowed to visit the graveyard? No.
To visit the graveyard? Yeah, allowed, yeah. Yeah, kuffar, yeah. The proof, who knows the proof? Is it allowed to visit the graveyard of the kuffar? Who knows the proof? Prophet visited the grave of his mom and she was kafir. You're talking about the kuffar graveyard, this cross. This graveyard doesn't remind you of dunya. This graveyard doesn't remind you of akhirah. He's in the middle of a shopping center. Wallahi, ya akhi. This graveyard, akhi, Allah al-Musta'an. There's one in Lewisham. Everyone drunk. The guy sitting on the grave is drunk. Billah alayk, this reminds me of the akhirah. He's on the main road, cars, no respect for it. I don't know about this graveyard, akhi. Subhanallah. There's one in Reading as well. It's like on the main road, across the road from shopping center. People there drinking and some crackhead there. This is go to Qubul Muslimin, ya akhi. Allah, Imam al-Dhahabi, rahimahullah ta'ala, he said, he used to be always in the graveyard, Imam al-Dhahabi. So he was asked about, he said, why are you always in the graveyard? He said, because when I'm in the graveyard, the people of the graves remind me of the hereafter. And when I do leave them, they will not backbite me. But when I'm with you, you remind me of the dunya. And when I do leave you, you backbite me. Subhanallah. So, Allahu Akbar. So visit the graveyard, ya akhwa. Subhanallah. Like, it reminds you of the akhirah. The graveyard more summarizes the whole life for you. The whole life for you. Subhanallah. The whole life for you. So try to go. One of the brothers that, may Allah have mercy upon him, Shafi'i, Somali brother, we was very close together, very close. When I was in Birmingham, he died. He fell off from a building. Yes, subhanallah. He was very young at that time. I never expected in my life he would die in that age. in that age. Yeah, West Kensington. Yeah, do you know him? طيب. Yeah, subhanallah. Imam Shafi'i, Imam Shafi'i, the brother Shafi'i, mashallah. Yeah, he was a very beautiful brother, mashallah. نحسبه الله وحسيبه ونزكي على الله أحدا. He was very good brother, mashallah. Yeah, subhanallah. He was young. You know, subhanallah. So he said to not stay, to move on. And then also he mentioned Adam alayhi salam was sent down to the world as what? As a punishment. And this life is the house, or be aware of this deceiving, tricky, and treacherous house. The question here, can you please make dua for my sick father? He's very unwell. Thank you. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give him shifa. And the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam said, شافوا مرضاكم بالصدقة. وداو cure your families through donations and charities. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala بأسمائه الحسنى وصفاته العلى to give a shifa to your father and to give him shifa العاجل. اللهم آمين. and جميع مرضى المسلمين. When is permissible for? When is permissible for hijab meeting to happen? Because some brothers ask for hijab, I believe it's hijab meeting first and a second time. And if without hijab, I mean, like the Sheikh al-Albani rahimahullah ta'ala said, you have to know the sister that you want to see her hair. So you have to let her know beforehand that you want to see her. Of course, this issue of what you have to see from the sister, you know, some say the face only and the arm, the hands. So I say, no, you can see more than that, you know, but you have to, for the hair, you have to ask to, you have to tell her beforehand that you want to see the hair. نعم. Shalbani, his opinion is permissible. Huh? Why you to the nation? To the nation. Why you want to know what Ibn Hazm al-Dhahiri said? Ibn Hazm al-Dhahiri was extreme in this opinion, brother. I mean, no father accepts his opinion. Ibn Hazm al-Dhahiri was very extreme. We don't want to say it because there's children here. He was very extreme on this opinion. He took the actual hadith so apparent. Yeah, Allah al-Musta'an. May Allah forgive him, man. Yeah, may Allah forgive Ibn Hazm al-Dhahiri. Yeah.
I don't know if that was the intent of the question.
Huh?
I'm just guessing.
No, it seems like it. Yeah, it seems like it. You can have more meeting, Islamically, you can have more than one meeting. Speak to her, you know. I'll teach you a trick. Don't ask any questions. Let the woman ask first. Then you flip the question. She says, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Except if there's a specific question for a man. You can ask her, how are you going to provide for me? If you ask her, how are you going to provide? You have to, you know. Yeah, but a meeting is not restricted to once. You can do 1, 2, 3, you know. طيب, what if you have done an act out of anger but regret it deeply, but the person who you did it to deeply oppressed you? I regret it now, but in the moment that was so upset. How do you repent to Allah? I mean, look at the story of Musa alayhi salatu wassalam. Musa alayhi salatu wassalam, he was very angry and he killed a man with one punch. Sahih? So he made tawbah. You make a tawbah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I mean, even if they oppress you, you cannot transgress the boundaries. Because sometimes you are being oppressed, but if you try to transgress the boundaries, Allah will aid the oppressed against you again. Because you become oppressor. Subhanallah. So you try your best to not transgress the boundaries and make the tawbah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you can ask the person, if you did something to him out of anger, then you can ask for forgiveness. Say, look, you wronged me, no doubt, but I believe what I did was wrong, so I apologize and I seek forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I seek forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I mean, of course, Allah give you the right to protect yourself. Are you? I'll have to stop, inshallah. What is this? Yeah, that's it. What is it? Oh, the hijab one, okay. This one are two. I don't understand. Are two gams. Read this. Read. شوف راه هذه. ايش تقول؟ Can you do marriage advice take for brothers specifically?
Are tooth gems permissible? Does the glue on the
Are tooth
gems? So I think it's either
John, they're like
does the glue on the tooth affect wudu?
does he have effect on wudu?
Yeah, the glue on it. So when they put it on the tooth, I think they put
Allah knows best, I don't know.
no, it's more like
It's for beautification, they put it like a beautification one, yeah. Yeah, I don't know, Allah knows best. Can you do a marriage advice take for the brothers specifically, please? I mean, what advice you need? You're married or you need to get married? Which one you want? Of course, I will advise you to get married. And not me, I have to advise you. Nabi alayhi sallam advise. And Nabi alayhi sallam said, يا معشر الشباب من استطاع منكم الباء فليتزوج. Oh, group of youth, whoever is able to get married, let him do so. If you're not able, then what? Fast. طيب. Marriage is very important, but something you have to know, my dear brothers. Marriage is not a joke. Marriage is a responsibility. Marriage is not like girlfriend, boyfriend, which is haram in Islam. Marriage requires a lot of patience. Marriage requires a lot of overlooking. Marriage requires a lot of gentleness. Because how many people been married only for few weeks or few months, they get divorced? Because why? They haven't understood what is marriage. They haven't understood what is marriage. So learn about zawaj. What is the woman's right over me? طيب. Because the shaitan, as you know, when he sends his soldiers to cause corruption upon the earth, the one that he will stand up for is the one that caused divorce. The one who caused divorce between the husband and the wife. So that's why be patient. Learn, you have to be patient. Learn to be a man of responsibility. Learn to ask your father. And our fathers not all the time are the best examples in marriage. This is the reality. That you read the biography of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because certain things, like me myself coming from back home, Algeria, certain things I look back, my father, may Allah forgive him and have mercy upon him, he was doing, I don't think that is according to Quran and Sunnah, but may Allah forgive him. So I'm not going to say I'm going to follow my father because he's my father. No, it's about following the truth. The Quran and the Sunnah is the criteria. The Quran and the Sunnah is above me and above my father. So of course, generally speaking, you go back to your fathers, ask them for advice. What should I do? I want to get married. What is the qualities of women you should look for? So, so marriage, my dear brothers, like I said, it requires a lot of sabr, a lot of patience. All that time you have with your friends staying late nights, you can't keep doing it when you get married. You have to go to your wife. You have to take care. And my advice to you, if you get married, make sure you travel with your wife. Make sure you take her out. Even if you have to go outside UK, take her to Wales, take her to other places, go to, to the park, spend more time, because after having children, it will be very hard for you to be spending, to have a time just between you and your wife. And when you do that, when you start going out with your wife and having time, you get to know each other more, try to understand her personality, she will try to understand your personality. The Salaf, one of the Salaf got married, and he led his wife in the first night, he led his wife in the prayer. Then when they finished, the wife, she said to him, I want to ask you something. Tell me what you don't like for me to stay away from it. SubhanAllah, it's a righteous woman. But also you have to try to understand your wife. And the reason of a lot of divorce, because no sabr. And also we have to be the truth. We as a man, we sometimes arrogance. We think we know it all. Like when our wives complain, we start saying, listen, look how much money I gave you. Look what I did for you. But sometimes it's not about the money, it's about emotional safety. She needs emotional support, emotional safety. And of course, it's hard. That's why sometimes, the people are married, when your wife asks you, are you doing it because you want to do it or because you have to do it? When they ask a question, there's a meaning behind it. Because if you're doing it because you have to do it, so you're not doing it because you enjoy it. You're just doing it just to keep me quiet. But if you're doing it because you want to do it, then this will become like a part of your nature. To make your wife happy, to please her, and to, So my advice to you, my brothers, study about marriage. Even you can listen to experts, marriage coaches, marriage experts, how those who are experts in terms of how to deal with the troubles between a husband and the wife, and advice to the husband and the wife. There's two doctors from Saudi and one of them from Syria. I do watch them, mashallah. And they give beautiful advice. Yeah, they give very beautiful advice. For example, I'll give you an example which they mentioned as well. Even some non-Muslims I do watch, For example, he said sometimes when the husband and the wife have problems and they come to Imam. They come to what? To the Imam. So the wife, she has a lot of problems with her husband. So what the Imam does, he says just be patient, sabr, it's okay, go. So he rectifies between them. Now this rectification is fake. Why? Because the doctor, he said, because he has not dealt with the problem from the roots. They're gonna go back together, maybe 2 days, then they go back to the way, it's gonna go back to the way before, how it was before. Troubles again, misunderstanding. So it's to understand why the wife is not happy, what is her issues, what is her problem, or likewise for the husband and for the wife to understand why is her husband is not happy, what is the issue, and listen. You know, women love people to listen to them. I mean, they talk, mashallah. Yeah, but they you know, I tell you about women. They say women, when they complain, they don't want solution. Yeah, they want solution. They don't want you to tell them, you have to do this, do that. No, they don't like that. They want just someone to listen to them. Yes. He said the mistakes of many husbands and men, when his wife comes to him to complain, he's like, no, but you should do this, you should do that. And she starts getting angry. And what happened? He's smiling. Why, you been doing it? So he's thinking, I have to give you a solution. I have to tell you what to do. But the wife doesn't want that now. She wants someone to listen to her. Just someone to give her attention and to listen to her. And no doubt it's hard, because they can talk, mashallah. You know, they can go for hours and you have to listen. You know, you go married, that's, you know, but so that's why some imams just said, oh yeah, be patient, overlook. Yes, good to overlook, no doubt. That it needs that. But sometimes try to understand each other. Try to understand what is the problem. You know, is it because we're not spending time together? Is it because, what do you call it? She feels like, it goes back to what I was saying before, to emotional safety. So given, as I say, nasiha sathiyya, like general advice to the husband and the wife who are facing big problems, I mean, it's not the best thing. And that's why I will not advise sisters, if they have a problem with their husbands, or the husbands have a problem with their wives, to go to any imam. Or go to people who are experts, who have knowledge about relationship, about marriage, even about how our personalities. Because we function different ways. Like some women, if you buy them gifts and so on, that's how you can get them. But some women, regardless of what you buy them, they need emotional safety. They need that security. So, yes, my advice to my brothers, may Allah bless you all. I mean, we have to stop because is it permissible to delay marriage because death of loved ones? I mean, like, delay marriage goes back to the person himself or herself. For example, he was asked if you think you're gonna fall into fitna, then marriage becomes wajib. But yeah, Allah alam, if someone said, you know, I mean, like if you say I don't want to get married now because my father passed away and I'm not feeling well mentally, then there's no problem with that. Because is a marriage now wajib or mubah or mustahab? Again, it goes back to the person himself. طيب بارك الله فيكم. Also, my advice to the revert sisters. Revert sisters, don't rush to get married. Don't rush to get married. Try to understand what is marriage in Islam. Because the reason I'm telling about the sisters, because revert, mashallah, when they become Muslim, everything for Allah's sake. So the revert sisters, I will advise my revert sisters, don't rush to get married. Like I said, do you know why? Because mashallah, the iman entered their hearts, everything for Allah's sake, And some sisters push them to get married, and they don't understand nothing about marriage. They're coming from completely different background. You understand? So you have to explain to them what is marriage. Make them understand. Because how many times sisters contact us and say, you know, I regret for getting married early because I just became Muslim, I didn't understand what is marriage. I was pushed to get married to someone I was not happy with, I didn't like him. Okay, so be careful, my sisters. Don't rush to get married. Understand what is marriage in Islam. What requires from you. Except if you think you're going to fall into fitna with zina, get married then. Purchase Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but don't get married straight away. Yeah, this person, no. Have more meeting, understand the person, ask questions. Barakallahu feekum. This is my advice to the revert sisters. But you don't feel comfortable what? To have a non-hijab meeting. I mean, this is a new term to me. Non-hijab meeting. To not have hijab, I mean like my sister, you are, I mean like I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, of course, how he's going to get married to you? Imagine you have a hair he doesn't like. And when you get married, he's not going to be happy with your hair. I mean, like, there's no problem. Just get ready, inshallah. And, you have to be realistic, I mean, like, you know. I mean, even you will not be happy if a brother comes with imam covering his hair. Maybe he's bald, he has no hair. And he says, I'm going to feel happy to show you my head. So, I mean, like, you know, this is it's not haram. If it's haram, something else, but it's not haram. Shaykh Al-Bani said it's allowed. I mean, you don't have to do it first time. Maybe you can tell me, listen, I don't feel comfortable doing it first time. But maybe second time or third time, fourth time, when you get used to each other, then, and you're sure or something, then the Shaykh Al-Bani said it's not. Otherwise, maybe he's going to be happy with you without hijab. Because remember, when you get married, you're going to wake up every morning, he's going to be looking at you and you're going to be looking at him. So of course, you're going to get married to someone that you are attracted to. Barakallahu feekum. And of course, sometimes due to akhlaq, due to your treatment to your husband or the husband to his wife, they will fall more in love. Subhanallah. طيب. As I say, كم استعبد الإنسان إحسانه. كم استعبد الإنسان إحسانه. How many times good treatment will enslave someone? Meaning that that person will do everything for you because the way you treated him, the way you took care of him, the way you looked after him. Barakallah fiikum. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us husn al-khatima. And we ask Allah to protect us from su' al-khatima. And to give us ikhlas. And to make us from those who follow the Quran, the Sunnah, and the way of the Salaf. And to give us, we ask Allah al-afwa al-afiyah fi dunya wal-akhirah. And والله تعالى أعز وأعلم وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وسلم تسليما كثيرا. بارك الله فيكم. إياكم.
Are there any etiquettes of visiting graveyard?
Huh?
Are there any etiquettes of visiting graveyards?
There is, yeah. Sahih Muslim, check Sahih Muslim. Assalamu alaikum. How are you? Good, yeah? وفيكم بارك الله. السلام عليكم أخي، كيف الحال؟ بخير بارك الله فيك.